here and just gave us some beautiful weather yesterday and continues on today. Although a little cooler out there, more fall-like, I guess you could say. A Fox 30 Health Alert to tell you about this morning. Asthma affects 25 million Americans, including 10% of our children right here in the U.S. And asthma can affect just about anybody. I'm joined this morning by Sunil and Joshi with Family Allergy Asthma Consultants. Good to see you.
Thank you.
We were just chatting kind of off. Something you got to stay on top of. Is this something that affects just children, or can it affect you later on in life?
No, it certainly can affect adults as well. It's much more commonly diagnosed initially in childhood, but adults can have it. It's something called adult onset asthma. So you may not know you had asthma as a child. It may present only as an adult.
And what's some of the triggers and the symptoms of this?
So one of the big triggers is the cold weather. So when you go from warm weather to cold like we've had in the last week, this is when we'll start to see more people come in with the typical asthma symptoms. But 50% of adults who have asthma have allergies that make it worse. 75% of children who have asthma have allergies that make it worse. That's the #1 trigger.
And how do you know you have asthma? I mean, you could just be having a cold?
Right, I mean, you certainly can. Viral infections can flare up asthma symptoms as well, but if you have cough, shortness of breath, wheezing, that persist in particular well after a head cold has resolved, or if you have those episodes even when you don't have a head cold, it's very likely you have some sort of lower respiratory congestion that could indeed be asthma, but really a physician needs to diagnose that.
Yeah, well, is it specific physicians, or do you go to your general...
A primary care physician or pediatrician can help make that diagnosis, but certainly the most objective test to diagnose it is a breathing test that a lot of times specialists would have.
And I'm curious, my sister had asthma at an early age, and she always had an inhaler. Now she's older, she doesn't need it as much. Can it go away?
Yes, as a matter of fact, children who are diagnosed with asthma can outgrow their asthma. In particular, if they don't have a family history of asthma, don't have allergies, or if they don't have allergic skin conditions, they're actually much more likely to outgrow their disease by the time they're in middle school, or certainly by the time they're an adult.
And quickly, some treatments. I mentioned the inhaler. Are there other kinds of treatments?
Well, it's very important to have that rescue inhaler available, especially on mornings like today where it's much cooler than it has been. So if you're having an acute episode, you can treat it, but you certainly don't want to be reliant on that. So preventative medications, where you do have to communicate with your physician about that to be on the right things to prevent your symptoms.
All right, Dr. Sunil Joshi with Family Allergy Asthma Consultants. Thanks for coming in and sharing some of your thoughts, and certainly with the cold weather. It's a good time to keep an eye on things. And he's going to be chatting with us all morning long online, so if you've got some questions on asthma and fall allergies, certainly contact us. I know that I've kind of had a little bit of allergies here as the weather changes, which is odd. You would think with the cold weather it wouldn't be the case, but go to fox30jax.com to find a link on our Facebook page. We are Action News this morning, and we have started the conversation, so go online now.
Now, your first alert forecast, Jacksonville's most accurate.